Right, once again, the nation has been united, really, in celebrating the Springbok win in the Rugby World Cup. And sport, of course, has played a significant role in fostering social cohesion. But how do we capitalize on the opportunity provided by the Boks to really accelerate the project of social cohesion? For that, we're joined by Doctor Sipho Sithole, who is, of course, an anthropologist. Dr. Sithole, a good morning to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. I mean, there's so much to discuss, right? Firstly, I'm keen to hear just your initial reactions to that win, that magical win on Saturday night.
Can you see my wild smile? It was just absolutely amazing. We first went to Sandton Square, and then it got hectic, and we rushed back to Parkhurst, and we ended up watching it here. And after that, we were up and down on 4th Avenue in Parkhurst, joined by South Africans in their different racial orientation. And everything. So it was absolutely amazing.
No, it really was an incredible feeling. And I think one of the great observances that certainly has been made during this Rugby World Cup, Dr. Sithole, has been the sense that, wait, hold on. We actually saw real unity, between South Africans, real cultural exchanges. I mean, what was your assessment of that? Is that the kind of unity that can last, or is it very cosmetic just for this event?
I am glad with your last comment at the end, but let me just say that firstly, it has been proven that the ties that bind citizens to the world and to the nation is sport. And we must be reminded of our unpalatable history of our nation when the anti-apartheid movement had to launch a fierce campaign against the apartheid regime and to try and isolate them from participating on any international sport. And they knew exactly where it was going to head. And that was making sure that South Africa at that point in time did not participate. And there was a cultural and sport boycott. And this was the only moment, or one of the moments, when a country is refused to raise its flag, to stand tall and beautiful amongst any other nation. And fast forward, we must then be reminded of Francois Pienaar's 1995 defining moment in South Africans' race relations, especially his own testimony about the Afrikaans pedagogy, which was hell-bent on presenting on a particular image of who blacks were in relation to their white counterparts. I mean, if you read the comments that when he was at Bryce and everything and growing up, he had a different narrative of what was being said about us around that. But all of that would be forgotten completely, and then it was actually laid bare by the deliberate miseducation of the Afrikaner with the sole purpose of sowing racial divisions and more so unparalleled hatred ever seen in the history of humanity. When he got exposed to a world bigger than that, when he was now receiving that 1995 World Cup trophy, he realized that actually South Africa was bigger than what he had been taught to be. But for me, back to your comment now, these international sport competitions do momentarily and unfortunately fictionalize this facade or facade of a country devoid of any racial divide, which is short or just becomes a weekend special, after which by Monday we are quickly reminded of who we are, and then a country still reeling from a past that is still struggling to shrug off. Then we go back to our own comfort zone, and then we remember that, oh, by the way, I'm white. He's black or she's black. And I'm hoping, back to your question, that we need to continue with this journey of social cohesion. We've seen it. We've seen it in 1995. We saw with the fact that Siya Kolisi became the first black captain of the Springboks. And everyone then forgets that actually there is racial divide and racial tension. But how are we able to sustain something like that? To me, that is really what I think we should be working on. And there is a big job or a big task on the part of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture to make sure that we use this to build further, to unite this nation. And it's something that I believe.
Yeah, I think this is where it
Yes.
gets difficult, right, Dr. Sithole? Because I think we can, and I've heard it as well since Saturday, said by a few people that, we need to build on that sense of unity so that it doesn't become what you've called a weekend special. But how do we do that? I mean, you say the Department of Arts and Culture and Sports really needs to look at that. I mean, is it something that is feasible and plausible that we can sustain the social cohesion that we see? How do we get there? That's the toughest question, right?
Naledi, I have seen over the years when there has been social cohesion conference, you go into this big hall or this big marquee where there's social cohesion conference, and then you look around, you find that the people that you are trying to be in cohesion with are actually not there. So basically, we are talking amongst ourselves. You want to see the Afrikaner, you want to see the English, you want to see the Indians, the coloreds, and everyone in this big hall where we talk about how do we hug and become one and get along just for once in a while. And then we are the ones who are now just talking amongst ourselves, and the beneficiary of that whole conference is the service provider who's got the gig to put it together. And we have to be serious about this matter. And we have to be serious. We must see it on national days, when we are saying we are all gathering at the bottom of the union buildings because today is Heritage Day, or it's June 16, and then the people that we want to see, they are not there.
Yeah.
And then come Springboks, come the cricket, they are all there in numbers. So we are lying to ourselves. And we are really lying to ourselves. And I want to hear what the president is going to say today so that we can stop making this weekend special.
Yeah.
When we were running down, Fourth Avenue. When we came out of our house, then there were four white fellow South Africans. They joined us, and we were singing. And they were singing behind us, and I'm sure they've forgotten this today.
One would hope that we're able to work past some of that, I suppose that cynicism around sustaining social cohesion past big sporting events. But we really do appreciate your insight as usual. Dr. Sipho Sithole, the anthropologist, is speaking to us about, just the real work that needs to be done for us to continue building social cohesion, even beyond some of these big sporting events.